all right, we already got a review. That's awesome. Okay, great. So yeah, you just go to the applet, which is here, and then you just click remix this app. You can make it public, you can make it private. And you just wait for a moment, because by default it will be the preview window, and you will see all the instructions here. Right. So here you see the quick setup, and we have 5 steps. So first step, we need to set up a database. So there are 2 options to do it. Either we just ask here, add a database, or you go to the database tab and click ask agent to set up a database. All this is doing the same thing. So you can either go to the database here and then click here, or just keep it simple, click the button, add a database. We do that, and the agent will basically check the project. It will find all the database configuration it needs and set up the database. So while the agent is doing that, we can already go to the next step, which is set up OrangeDB credentials. So first step is we go to developer orangeweb3.com. Okay, the next step, in step 2 of the wizard, whitelist your Replit dev URL. Okay, so we're here on the dev portal. We log in. All right. And then you can just click here, create a new project. That's something like orange. Then we want to whitelist the URL. Okay, which URL is that? We can go here and just grab it from here. Just copy that URL. And we put that one in here. Whitelist.
And just for people watching later, you'll have to also whitelist once you deploy. So just make sure to include the deployed URL as well.
Yeah. So just for what we just said, you will find your project here in this folder. All of your projects, and if you go in there, you have then the option to submit another URL. So once you deploy it, it will look something like this, replit.app. You just put it in here, you whitelist and save the changes, and then you're good to go. Okay, so if we go back to our template, that's the one that I just created. You get an API key and you get a project ID. So what we see here is complete project creation to get your credentials, where we got them. That's the API key and the project ID. And then the next step, ask agent to add OrangeDB credentials as environment variables. So we simply take this text, we copy it, we put it into the agent chat, who is now done with the database. And we just replace those default values here with the proper credentials. So project ID and the API key. As one caveat with Replit, it can't actually put those credentials into the secrets itself. It's kind of a security mechanism. So the agent will think about it, and then it will ask us to paste them one more time into those fields. And that's what we got to do. We'll see it in a moment. It still needs human input, basically. you go. You see, we have those values here, but it's required that we put them in manually. So you just copy the API key here that we already added, put in this field, and then the Orange ID, project ID, put in here. And continue. It's working. I'm just going to check quickly what the cost was so far. 36 cents for the first database setup, and then 23 cents, so about 50 cents so far. Okay, so that's it. Orange ID authentication is configured. So next up, complete admin setup. So we register as the first user, which will become admin automatically. So you just click here to open with a new tab. And we log in. Okay, sometimes it requires you to refresh the page to see the admin dashboard, but then you can access the admin dashboard. And we go to admin dashboard credit configuration, which is here. And then we need to add our admin wallet address to start receiving tokens, and then potentially configure token contract and conversion rates. So in a credit system page, and then as you can see, the admin wallet address is empty. We need to add this wallet, which can be any of our wallets. I'm just going to use a testing wallet here. So that wallet will receive the tokens, and then by default, the contract address is going to be orange, but you can use any other address on Avalanche. We also added a couple of addresses here at the bottom. If you want to use Juice or USDT or USDC or AVAX, you can use those as well. And then the credits per token. So how many credits will you get for one orange token? So you can change this, let's say, for 20. And that's it. We configured the system. We see that the blockchain listener is running. That's basically the system that's monitoring the blockchain to see if there were new transactions. And we are done with this step. And now the last step is just to actually test the credit system, right? So we want to go to the credits, connect our wallet. In this case, I'm using Ravi, but you can use MetaMask as well. Okay, wallet connected, do the verification. We're in the wrong network right now, so you change that to Avalanche. All right, great. And then let's just deposit one token. This should give us 20 credits based on our configuration. The transaction was successful. And now in a few seconds, we should see our credit balance increase. All right, so here you go, 20 credits. We can see it in the history here. We also have the transaction ID. If we want, we can also try spending some credits. Let's say we spend 2 credits. That's then using that API to deduct credit. All right, so we tested the system, it's working. And now the last step is basically building the first credit app. So I added a basic prompt here, replaced the home screen quick start section with an orange clicker game. Each click costs 1 credit, increases your score. Remove the separate spent credits test areas which the game now handles spending, and keep the credit balance and top up functionality at the top. So this one is basically a demo as a game, but you can replace this with any other game logic that you want. So you can keep some of those things in the prompt as is. For example, keep the balance and top up functionality at the top and so on, basically to just keep the basics how they should be on the page, but then replace it with anything that you want. For example, George, you could just create a chess game now with credits or whatever. So that's basically where you can get creative and just change up the prompt a little bit to build whatever you want to build.
And I think the most important part of this prompt is replace the home screen quick start section with then whatever else you want.
Yeah. So we put this whole thing into one section. Obviously, before it was a bit more because that now makes it easier for the agent to find everything and replace it. And we removed the spending functionality. This is really just for testing. But obviously, once you have a game, you want your users to spend the credits on useful stuff. So let's see. I think this should be done in like maybe 2-3 minutes. Phil, I think you tried as well, right? To create a clicker game.
Yep. It will. Well, on mine, it did have some errors that it fixed on its own, but it presented a couple errors before it finished. TypeScript type errors.
Yeah, sorry. Can you just explain how is this with payment? You were calculating the cost in between. How do we have to upload some tokens or some money or some funds?
No. People are paying you. The only thing you have to decide is what is that conversion rate for one token, right? So for one orange, how much system credit does that amount to? That's the only thing you have to define. So if your chess game, for example, is 5 tokens, or sorry, 5 credits, you can charge 20. You can give 20 credits per orange token, so then they can play 4 times.
Yeah, I got this. No, Joe just said at the start, or you said, the whole process costs like $2 or $3. So I assume that this is for putting on templates it costs, or did I get it wrong?
No.
Just for the agent, that's the agent will consume some, just to build it, because the first step we do we tell the agent to set up the database. It costs like 36 cents, right? And
yeah, but how do you pay this? Do you have to have it on MetaMask or?
No. This is Replit. This is a Replit charge.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't get it. Okay. Thanks.
No worries. Yeah. So the only thing that you're paying is really for Replit. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It would cost you much more to figure this out yourself if you don't use a template and wanted to build the same type of system.
Yeah, we used a lot of credits for this and a lot of developer brains as well. So there's a lot of value here if you want to get started with something quickly. I think it's almost done. What we can see is already the game, the clicker game. And we still have the credit top up, so we can actually deposit more tokens, get more credits. And the balance here. Not sure if it's done yet.
Okay. Now the errors.
It always has some of these.
Yeah.
Sprinkle in a few errors to charge a bit more.
Shopping cart.
It also recently, it likes to call the architect a lot. Like sometimes the agent will say, hey, I have to call the architect and let the architect review that. And then it's talking to the architect, and then the architect will give his opinion on what's happening. It's kind of a new
All good, George. No worries.
system that's being used here. Also, one thing you can do with the agent 3 now in Replit is you can choose the level of autonomy. So you can actually choose if you want low autonomy, it will just make very small steps. And if you choose high, it will actually do a lot. Like it's doing here, it's working for like 10 minutes or whatever. If you go max, it actually can work up to 200 minutes in one go. Actually, never tried this, but it's like it can do a lot. And I have not used this app testing. I think that's a new feature. Have you tried that, Phil?
Nope.
It's interesting. I will try this soon.
Oh, it's calling the architect. Okay.
Is it?
Like doing it alone. Hey, Phil, can you check what George just messaged? Because I'm recording the screen at the moment.
Where did he message?
I think in the chat, in this chat, he asked something about listing his project. I can only see the intro.
My right because which is so if I want to try this, I need to relaunch Replit. Yes. But can I also list the project made in words? Sorry, man, I'm not sure I understand that one. Are you saying currently don't have Replit subs on? You don't have a Replit subscription. Is that what you're saying? Then get one.
Yeah, this one you need a subscription. Yeah.
You definitely, yeah. But this one I don't list a project made in worlds. So just so you understand, George, this is a Replit template. The only way to access this is through Replit.
I think it's done now. So that was $1.39. So I think in total we were below $2 for the whole configuration and making
7 minutes, 23 actions. That's interesting.
Then we can try it. We can click. Okay, it will consume the credits for each click. And obviously that's a very simple example, but you could imagine any other game that consumes credits, and then we can top up again. Let's top up 2 more credits. Tokens. This will give us 40 credits. All right,
there it is.
So here we go, 54 credits.
Yep.
And if we go to the credits dashboard, we see the history, when we spent them for the clicks, and when we have need deposit. So that's pretty much it.
George, this is specifically for Replit. We might have to develop other templates for other platforms. And just so anyone watching later is aware, you can take an existing project and put it on top of this. I've done so with several projects.
Yep, I think agent is pretty strong nowadays. Like if you put in those folders into the actual template folder, it will probably figure out how to integrate it and make it all work.
Sweet.
And then when you're done, obviously post it on VibeCodingList to get some feedback.
Actually, we maybe should do that